Hi guys, Kev here, and I want to talk about my best of 2023 knives. And so I'm going to try to do this in categories. I usually try to do that, and then I'll do like an overall. So I'll kind of do budget, premium, and slip joint. And I might do a separate one for left-handed. And then I'll do a video where I take the winner from each of those and pick one knife of the year for me, right? Now, there's some caveats to this. One, I have to have the knife on hand, which means a lot of things are going to be out because I, one, pass around a lot of stuff. I, two, sell a lot of stuff. I, three, give away a lot of stuff. So just because a knife isn't in this list doesn't mean it's not a great knife. I might mention some along the way that I think would be in here if I had them or had them still. Something you have to understand is that I love knives, but I love the process of reviewing and checking out and experiencing knives more than I love collecting knives. And I know that's weird for some of you guys who have 200 knives or whatever. That's not my passion with this. My passion isn't to collect as many cool knives as I can, which is awesome if that's what you like to do. And I do collect knives. I have plenty. But it's, it's not as many as people might think. I probably have like 50 if you added them all up. And didn't count Divos and like sentimental knives, right? It's not like a million knives. And that's because I personally am not out for just collecting as many knives. For me, it's experiencing them, carrying them for a little bit for review, enjoying them, getting to know the knife and the good and the bad and whatever, and then letting you guys know what I think. And once that process is done, I'm okay letting a lot of knives go. And a lot of those knives are amazing. Top of the line, best of knives. So I just want to make that clear. Just because a knife isn't on this list doesn't mean it's not good. And it doesn't mean I don't think it's amazing. Sometimes it's hard for people to put those things together and believe me when I say that knife is amazing. I just don't have it, right? Anymore, or have it, or whatever. So anyway, let's start off with the budget category of pocket knives. And I have just a couple examples here. There are some honorable mentions, and the main one that I can think of that would 100% be on this list and possibly even win is the Miguron Moyarl. The Miguron Moyarl is one of, if not the best budget knife this year. I think it was this year anyway. I had one and I reviewed it. I have a video on it. I will try to link that somewhere along the way. It is a $50 pocket knife. This is the best bang for buck pocket knife you will find on the market. It has a titanium pocket clip, 14C28 end blade, nice finger choil, really good pear-shaped hole that deploys like a dream, and it's 50 bones. So this is your best option if you're looking for something affordable, amazing, and easy to gift or keep for yourself on a budget or whatever. You should really check out the Miguron Moyarl. I think they came out with or are coming out with a frame lock version or maybe a more premium liner lock. I don't think I've checked that out. So, yeah. So that's the honorable mention. The next one's going to be the absolute bottom of the barrel price-wise that I would, I guess, recommend. This is from Lothar Knives, and this is called the Seagull. And I've had a few of these, so I can tell you that QC is hit or miss. But these are available on Amazon, so you can easily return it and get a new one if you get one that's not great. But this thing is $30. It has that, laminate carbon fiber. Sorry, something's like rocking over here. It's really annoying. Sorry. So laminate carbon fiber, which is not my favorite. But again, you got to remember, this is a $30 knife. It has a pivot collar. It has a, decent clip. It works. So, there's that. And it has a D2 steel blade. But it does come sharp, and it's pretty thin. And it cuts well. It has a liner lock that, when you get a good one, real easy to release, drops down on bearings, shakes shut beautifully. They come with a really strong detent that I absolutely love. I mean, the flipper tab on this thing is so good. It flies out of there. It's really snappy and fun to deploy. It is a little bit harder to deploy with the hole, but you can do it. And it is, again, really, really snappy and feels good. So it's also really thin. And I think for EDC, if you're on a mega budget and $30 is your limit, this is a really good option to look at. Aside from maybe something with, a really good deal that you can get right now online or something, If you can get like a Civivi for $30 right now, I think that's a better option. But for $30, normally retail, this thing I think is worth checking out. And I will link all the knives that I talk about down below. If I have affiliate links, I'll link those. And it does help the channel if you guys use those. If I have discount codes, I will link those. And you guys might get some discounts as well. But I might not have a link for everything that's, an affiliate link. But I will link every product. So anyway, just check the description if you're interested. So that's the Seagull. Be careful, there's also a model called the Petrol, and that is almost identical, but it's a little bit different handle shape, and I did not like that one as much. So I definitely recommend this one called the Seagull. And again, if you have any issues, you can always return it or whatever. Another option here is going to be from Kaiser. And this is probably the best value option, I would say, on this list, because this is a G10 integral. So this has an integral handle, which means it's milled out of one piece of G10. And then they insert that plunge and button system, and you have this really nice pocket clip. Works extremely well. It's not reversible, but it's okay. And then you have the button lock design. This is an Azo design, which is really nice. 154 cm, beautiful stonewash on this. And I believe the Brat comes in around $79 retail. Now, I don't know what it costs if you get it on sale or something like that. It might be a little less. I'm noticing right now that that side of the clip is sticking up. This one's not. So I want to just see if I can drive that in or what's going on. This did go through my pass around group, so it's possible that the screw loosened, or that just is how it is. I don't know, maybe one side's wider than the other. But for $80 retail, this thing is bananas to me. It's got a really good spring in it for a button lock. If you guys haven't been watching the channel recently, you might not know that I've basically proclaimed that I hate all spring style locks. And yes, I got some comments that frame locks and liner locks are springs. Yeah, okay. You know what I mean. I mean button locks, compression locks, not compression locks, button locks, axis locks, shark locks, super locks, any of those with coil springs really are ones I just hate, or omega springs. You just don't get the same feel that you do with a knife that has a lock bar. That's my opinion. It doesn't mean I'm not going to say that button locks and such are good if they're good, because this is really good. The detent could be a little bit stronger, but it's definitely not bad. Like, I could fail it, but if I try, it flies out of there. It feels really good. It's fun and fidgety to play with. I did tune this one before I took it apart and just Loctited the pivot where I wanted it before I passed it around. So it's a little bit tighter than maybe you could have it. There's no play at all or anything, but it doesn't just bounce down. But I actually like that, because on a button lock, when they bounce down and back off, it's just, I don't know, it's not always the best. So the Kaiser Brat is a really good option if you have larger hands, or you like flipper knives, or you wanted a button lock on this list, or you just wanted the best value, because 154 cm and a G10 integral for under $100 is pretty insane to me, you know? There's a lot of Kaisers that could be on this list. So you could also put in the place of this a lot of other options that are fantastic that I've reviewed along this year. You can check any of my Kaiser videos and you'll see all of those options. And there are a lot of amazing ones. But this is one that stood out to me, and it's one that is in my possession at the moment. And I really just think this is fun and fidgety. And that's the Kaiser Brat. Now, the last one here is going to be the one that I would select as my favorite budget knife this year. Budget for me equals under $100. So just keep that in mind. So my favorite this year is going to be the Tempest Knives Microburst. So Casey over at Tempest Knives is a friend. You know, am I a little biased? I don't know. Maybe. I'm pretty good at not being biased, though. This knife, genuinely, for under $100 is fan-flippin-tastic. You get 14C 28N steel, and stock, they came with black micarta scales, but then he came out with a release that had these blue lightning, I think he called it. This is blue Damascus or G-Mascus scales. And then he did a white and black one that was like Stormtrooper colored. I think there are still some microbursts available, which baffles me. For the price, under $100, I think they're like $79 or $89. This is one of the best affordable EDC knives that you can get. I mean, it's just really, really comfortable in the hand. I love a sheep's foot blade. It's just so usable as an EDC knife. And for me, when I'm looking at a budget knife that's going to actually stick around, right? I give away 90% of them, you know, pass them around, give them away, whatever, right? And it's the ones that I want to keep around are the ones that I can use, and they kind of turn into beaters, you know what I mean? And I don't mean that in a way that like they're not, you know, good enough to be collector knives. They certainly are if that's your jam, you know what I mean? I like titanium and you know, M390 and the fancy shit. I'm a little bit bougie. But I do like a good budget knife. But it's something that I want to throw in my pocket when I'm doing yard work, or, you know, for whatever reason, I know I'm going to use a knife a lot that day. That's when the budget knife comes out, right? And this one is fantastic at doing actual cutting, and it also looks really nice. The detent is really, really good on this. You get a nice reverse flick. You get a nice thumb flick. Really hammers out on that thumb flick. I'm normally not a thumb studs guy. I think, honestly, this might be the only thumb stud knife that'll make any of the knife of the year lists. But it's just that good and comfortable in the hand and everything that I had to make this the budget knife of the year. And I think that's actually back-to-back years that Tempest Knives has taken my budget knife of the year category. The last year it was the Pinion from Tempest Knives. So they're on a little bit of a streak here with me. Now, granted, I'm not, you know, the most budget knife collecting guy. I review a lot of them, but I don't keep a lot of them. So there's that, but I kept this for a pretty long time, and I really, really enjoy it. So there you go. That is my budget knife of the year, the Tempest Knives Microburst. Let me know what you think down in the comments. I'd love to hear what your budget knife of the year is. I think had I had one still, the Miguron Moyaro probably would have beat this out just because it's $50 fucking dollars, right? $50 for what you get. I mean, you get this knife plus a titanium pocket clip, and maybe even, I don't know what the backspacer is, and you get that for $50. That's just hard to beat. You know what I mean? Especially if you're having something OEM'd. But that doesn't mean this knife is any slouch. This knife is amazing. So I would definitely recommend the Microburst, the Brat here, and that Moyarl 100%. And if you're just bottom of the barrel, I got $30 I found on the couch cushion. I think this Lothar Siegel will do the trick for you as well. Now, keep in mind, this one's going to be for light-duty EDC. I don't think this thing can handle much hard use. So, there you go, guys. That's the first installment of Best of 2023 for pocket knives for me. Be curious to hear your thoughts and your choices, and I love you guys. I hope you have an absolutely fantastic day, and I will catch you later.